Good morning. This is September the 15th, 2025, the morning at 5:30 a.m. as I am recording this live for you here. I'm Jacob and Payne bringing you this edition of things you might not have heard from the Conversation Project. Now, the Conversation Project is your home for headline news, information, and pop culture references that are worth chatting about. Today, we're chatting up this guy, Kilmeade, although we did some chatting up from the weekend. We'll explain that. We'll get to it. Also, Zohran Mamdani gets a pretty big endorsement if you believe it. And Ice Cube talks about the movie he filmed during COVID that everybody hates right now. Plus, we aren't quite done with Charlie Kirk. Although this weekend we did a long, hour-long, 49-minute long video on basically our hopefully last talk on Charlie Kirk. The story has not died, but the issue on how we're covering him specifically, we're backing away from it. So check it out on our feed on YouTube and see what it is for the final, hopefully finally wrap up on Charlie Kirk. This is about this killer and stories going forward. We'll get to that in just a minute. I'll remind you that our website is conversationproject.com. For more on us, you just simply go to our website and see what's going on. We also have great things in the way of keeping us alive, including our sponsors links and our partnership links. So if you feel like you're worthy of a little better, let us know. And our main sponsor of Spotlight today is Ground News. They've been our big sponsor for quite some time. They stick with us for a while. We're glad to stick with them. They're offering 40% off their plans for news by simply using our affiliate links. This is conversationproject.com. It's affiliate links. We'll get commission. 40% off their plans, including an Advantage plan, will give you so much news you'll never know how you've survived in the past. Now, let's get into the headlines for today, starting off with the story that just won't go away. Charlie Kirk's killer, Tyler Robinson, becomes the subject of a new meme coin. Now, yesterday on Sunday, as I record this on Monday morning, the Kennedy Center actually had a honorary visual, I guess, for Charlie Kirk, which many folks attended. There's going to be a big, large ceremony this weekend coming up in Arizona, and President Trump is going to do some things there. Plus, JD Vance will host Charlie Kirk's show today, so we'll talk about that after that, see what goes on that one. But we're going to stick with Tyler Robinson in the coverage today, the man accused of killing Charlie Kirk on that fatal Wednesday days back. A meme coin has been birthed in his name and reflecting a crypto reflex to monetize any sort of breaking news with no endorsement, no utility, just out of animosity, and just plain out evil to say. Crypto traders can find a coin Tyler listed in microcap activity with thin liquidity and low float, making it right for pump and dump behavior. Just essentially make quick money off a thing like this. These crypto outlets say volume spiked quickly after headlines tying meme coin to nothing actually tying a meme coin to the suspect or any verified terms, but it was out there, so people jumped on it. Maybe coincidence? Most likely not. Now, newsrooms and myself are still using the word allegedly or accused shooter because that's what you do in a situation before someone's actually being convicted. You can have all the evidence and have everybody eyeballs on them, but until the conviction, it's still accused, still allegedly. So all the token narratives are speculative, even that more. But a reminder for all you out there, meme coins are unregulated, highly volatile, and privately rug prone. That means people will put a lot of money into it, and the people who created it will pull out money out of it so they can get all the money that was put into it. Anyone who put anything into it afterwards loses the coin. So especially those that are trading on notoriety, think about Hawk to a girl, think about Donald Trump and Melania Trump with their coins out there. Things that are being played out on name recognition from people who don't really know how these things work. They just see to go up to the moon. They are sketchy. So please remember, meme coins are sketchy. This one in its tenure, extremely sketchy. Poland's rejecting Trump's claim that the Russian drone strike on its nation could have been a mistake. The Warsaw response was pretty blunt. The drone incursions into Poland by Russia were not mistakes, and they are undercutting Trump's public suggestion that maybe Putin just hit the wrong button and went left at Albuquerque or something. Prime Minister Donald Tusk posted on Poland, almost posted that Poland knows it was accidental, and NATO's moved aircraft to boost air defense against the eastern flank because of this one. The episode actually widened the public gap between Poland and the U.S. as the president and the prime minister are back and forthing over immediate threat assessment. Oh, by the way, Romania reported some similar breaches later that week. So It's reinforcing the fact that there should be concern in NATO borders being tested by the Russian drone army. For anybody out there who's listening to me overseas, the Poland statements are signaling the idea of deterrence of messaging to Moscow and reassurance to domestic politics that they are taking care of business. So if you're in Poland, you let them know that Tusk is taking care of business for you guys over there. Let's talk about money. Lots of money. And Demon Slayer Infinity Castle made lots of money. $70 million in its box office for this weekend, topping the U.S. box office and strong in the international. The $70 million domestic haul is the biggest opening ever for anime film in North America. It beat out Pokemon, the original movie, many years ago. And performances resets expectations for subtitle releases and validates premium screen strategies for anime event cinema. This was something people wanted to make this an event to go to, and they did. This was not singing along to K-pop Demon Hunters, but this was just as large. International grosses pushed the global box office at 178 million for the opening week. Strong holds for potential core fans of anime. And what's going to basically buoy this up, besides this showing some big numbers for December box office, is theaters who need people here are also tracking what I've also seen in week 2. Will it hold up to numbers? And there's 2 more movies coming in this actual franchise. Will all the movies basically have a similar tone? We shall see. It's good for box office, good for movie houses, good for all of us, actually. This poll ranking may not be so good. Now, Texas A&M is now at the number 10 spot in AP Top 25 for college football. And Notre Dame made history while still being unwinnable, not winning any games yet. 0-2. Texas A&M beat Notre Dame this weekend 41-40, which was a milestone, a slobber knocker type game. The Aggies' first 3-0 start since 2021. Good for them, and a great spot for them to move up and stay relevant in the rankings. Meanwhile, Notre Dame is still relevant in the rankings. They're still ranked at 24 and 25, despite having an 0-2 record. And it's the first 0-2 ranked team to be in the top 25 since 1988. Topping off the top 5 is Ohio State, Penn State, LSU, plus Miami and Georgia. ESPN notes that the poll is SEC heavy, so a whole lot of teams in the SEC where it just means more. That's the slogan. Double-digit league representation in the top 25. This will change as rivalries start to roll up in the SEC, which is when the larger conferences start beating each other up, because that's what actually happens. But as an SEC guy, it is what we're looking forward to. We'll see what happens towards the end of the year, or technically the beginning of the year, because January is when the playoff and the actual championship is made. But right now, Notre Dame still has a shot to be relevant. Will it move up in the ranks and win some games soon? We shall see. We covered this in a hot take literally about 12 hours ago. And I am surprised that this is one of the largest ranking videos we've had in quite some time. It's very much well over ranking in the top 8 videos right now. We're pleased by it. I'm pleased by the response. Very pleased that it's mostly civil. Other than the people yelling they want to see the video, but else, because I don't do that stuff. But let's talk about what happened on air with Brian Kilmeade early last week. He apologized on Saturday for suggesting that mentally ill homeless people should be given lethal injections on his remark extremely callous. Now, there's context, but we'll talk about how the context got lost as we do this right here. You want the full deal, go into my feed and look for the video with Brian Kilmeade's face in the thumbnail. The apology actually followed days of criticism from advocacy groups and fellow media figures for basically popping off at the wrong time. Fox has not announced any disciplinary action, probably not because he's the top guys, but the coverage of this is framing the episode as part of a broader rhetoric problem around homelessness, not just so much Kilby and his thoughts. The moment actually underscores how live TV summits can saw brand safety into advertiser relationships. Remember, Nappy Headed Hose by one Don Imus. Remember the main reason why we have Howard Stern on Sirius XM to get out of terrestrial radio, because people say the wrong things at the wrong times, or what they really mean at the wrong time. They have issues. There will be renewed scrutiny for Fox News panel moderation and ensure guardrails for maybe another 10, 12 hours. Then it'll go back to being Fox and Fox. You don't hear these sort of things being complained about on the Newsmaxes or the OANs, But here on Fox, where they should be able to say better, know better, it is. Now, the context of the actual conversation, one host was talking about how the homeless people were everywhere, and now they should just take them someplace. Another argument that's pretty ridiculous is pick them up and move them someplace. And the kill me popped in and said, and or just give them lethal injection. They don't want help. That line was based on the fact that many homeless people actually refuse help. They have mental issues, they have things going on that makes it hard for them to interact. Basically, they're belligerent people. They are their own problems in a sense. But picking them up, putting them on a bus, and driving them someplace else doesn't fix anything. There is a reason for these people to get treatment, to have time, to have recovery, to have mental counseling. And some people are just, hard on their luck and need a little bit of shaking up to get going, clean up, go forward. Some people they need a lot more shaking up to go forward. Lethal injection is not the way. Thank you for joining us for this edition of I think you heard. I got a very tough story coming up next, so I need your help on all these things to keep things going. I need to remind you that this is a me-funded thing. We do get some funds coming in from various places, including the YouTube clips. Thank you so much, and some other voices as well. We have the affiliate commissions, but they aren't massive, to be honest. So we need you to help us push up our actual profile so we can get more pennies on the dollars for these clips. If you like what you're seeing right now, the new product for you and commentary mix I have for you, like the video you're watching here, whether you're watching on X, on YouTube, or on Facebook, where this is coming on live, or will be in your feed later on, we need you to like those videos so the algorithms will send more people. In fact, for X and Facebook, if you're liking us and seeing us, you will see that join in on the fun and help us pick these stories, engaging to see what stories are going to be talked about in the next iteration. Also, share with like-minded people and hope they'll join in on the fun as well. And if you are not getting this natively in your feed, if it was shared to you or you saw it in some sort of push on your feed sometime, right, you will enjoy it. You will get boost from it. And right now, we're at hitting another mini milestone for numbers. So use the subscriptions, like, share, subscribe, and keep up with the news. We also have another place to go to our website for more spots, including TikTok, like our hot take there, and where we post our podcast links as well. Coming back to Arkansas, North Little Rock specifically, where Officer Tommy Norman, the police officer from North Little Rock, with a large online following, was arrested on third-degree domestic battery and placed on administrative leave over the weekend. Local authorities report that he's pending initial appearance. Department policy triggered the leave during his probe as is necessary. Now, viral accounts are amplifying the story nationally because he has a national profile. He's been all covered by many places in the city as North Little Rock's top. But local stations are reporting it more or less on the low, keeping to the anchor source materials on what's happening. He was accused of being part of domestic battery abuse with his wife in the past week. It spotlights how influencer police personas complicate current crisis communications for agencies. When your super famous YouTube, Instagram cop gets in trouble, you got to cover it. Now, the updates are being basically hinging on whatever charging documents orders are coming through. Now, this is hard for me to do because not only am I familiar with Tommy Norman being here, I know Tommy Norman. I know him personally. Back when I was teaching radio news for morning shows, his number was in my cell phone. He's someone I talk to very frequently and someone I bump into on the street. I once did an actual event where I emceed an event and Tommy was there. So we may not be pals, but I circle in the circles and see what's going on and see what he's doing on social media all the time. So I know this person and I know the disappointment I personally have for what's going on. We're going to let the court system play this out. We'll let the issue, because the issue between him and his family, work itself out, knowing where he's been, knowing what he's done, and knowing the good thing he's actually done. Makes this disappointing for a lot of folks to see how it plays out going forward with this particular case right here. Kathy Hochul has officially endorsed Zohran Mamdani, giving the Democratic nominee a marquee ally and reshaping expectations of the general election for the New York City mayor's race. What this endorsement does, delivers delivered via an op-ed, frame Mandami as aligned with the state on affordability and safety, despite some ideological gaps, that old socialism thing. But safety and affordability, we're down with. We're not sure we want to, socialize all the grocery stores, but hey, he's the guy. He's the young Democrat. She is the first large name Democrat to actually push for it. And national outlets are reading this as a move for centrists to basically come together to support this guy so they can win the election. The biggest thing about this is between Curtis Siwa and former Cuomo and the current Mayor Adams, of the other three guys, and there's some other slum names, and then they can get some picked up votes here. Between those three, there's not a good look for New York City and their next mayor. So Zandami, Mondami is not necessarily a bad look if you're down with socialism, which is sort of where the issue comes. Local coverage is placing the endorsement within a fractured field in the compressed timeline to get this vote in. Rapid consolidation of donors should happen where surrogates will start throwing money at Mondami because they might start to get the looks of time for donors and the people that need to have money to influence them. By the way, by the numbers, by the people who are involved in New York City, they seem to be down with Mondami's words, not quite his actions. We'll see what happens when the election comes, whether it does come down to a smaller sort of showdown, if one or two people drop out, so it's a 1-2 race, or if this mostly four-way race, makes it easier for a guy like Mondami to win because the other votes are centering in a consolidated no for Zohran. The Paris Hilton mini fridges are being recalled because they are fire. No, they catch fire and they have burn hazards. The CPSC has announced a recall of about 110,000 Paris Hilton mini beauty fridges from both the 4-liter and 11-liter models due to an overheating switch that can cause fires. Very bad. Not hot. Bad. At least 27 overheating fire incidents were reported. Consumers should unplug the units and register refunds. I'm not going to read the models, but if you go to the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission, they give all sort of recalls at the moment, plus a CVS link that offers step-by-step refund documentation with photos and how to cut the cord and pack it up so that you no longer have the actual issues. The reporters take that via CBS News. You'll see that in the actual link. Go to the description, other than on Facebook, because Facebook doesn't like links. They just don't like it. Safety takeaways: treat beauty mini fridges like any appliance. Waiting closed cabinets. Check serial numbers to make sure you have the wrong one, and register your products so you get these ideas, get these information directly to you. Just like if you were to subscribe to the podcast, send it right to your feeds every single day. Ice Cube's come a long way from NWA because at some point in time, your gangster rap portfolio gets a little stale when you're hitting 60 and close to 70 at this point. But Ice Cube fans are reacting to the rapper's details of the struggles of filming the recent War of the Worlds film all by himself. He said he shot this in about 15 days with no co-stars, no additional directors. He sat in the room and basically shot the thing for his part that were mixed in all together. Clips of the film and compilations of Q's reaction shots are basically memes all over the place because it's just horrible. Not so much the clips of the film or his face restrictions, but the film is horrible, making uses of those pieces that much more fun. All of this sports ranges from affectionate ribbing. Come on, Q, you could do better than that. The questions about streaming error, cost cutting, and AI adjacent workflows. A way to make a movie during COVID made sense, but the movie that was made was ridiculous. The Water World's chatter shows how behind the scenes revelations can reframe released long after opening weekend. And what's really interesting about this one was this was something that was originally produced by Paramount, I believe, but Amazon Studios bought it, so they had to do a couple extra clips and add in a lot of Amazon branding. Much of that branding was a part of the story, but it took a little tweaking to do. And remember, except for I think there's one scene or a couple scenes where Ice Cube, his daughter, and her boyfriend, who's an Amazon delivery driver with a drone, are together in one spot as she's about to deliver her baby. Other than that, Everybody's in a room by themselves, and it's pretty terrible. Let's end this Monday morning um, cavalcade of news stories with a good story. The world's tallest sunflower blooms in Indiana in the backyard as a tribute to you. Guinness confirmed the nearly 36-foot sunflower in Fort Wayne is the tallest ever recorded, grown by Ukrainian-born gardener Alex. The record plant, nicknamed Clover, has become a neighborhood landmark and a living tribute to Ukraine in the war, amid the war, to say. AP's video shows the stems towering over power lines and gardeners credit custom soil mixes and bracing it for its height. You can see in the picture behind there, it's like that's not a windmill behind the guy. That is the formation of a brace to keep the sunflower from being blown away. Coverage underscores how record attempts can actually galvanize local communities and restore pride. This one here is the pride of the Ukrainians still what's going on in the nation. Expect seed requests, some merch, and fall tours as long as Sunflower is still available. Sunflower's story is tailor-made for social morality, just like Ice Cube's face in Stories for the World. Yes, I said that. Now, let's wrap up by going into the wrap-up stages and talk about our spotlight sponsor for the day, which is Ground News. Ground News is a news that's well, they're more than news outlets. They're a website, they're a service. They aggregate news from various outlets and allow you to see what people are talking about all over the places. If you're a right-leaning person who listens to or watches the news from a right-leaning channel, conservative channels, you can see what left-leaning channels are doing and compare it and go back and forth. Let's say you're more or less independent, you just want the news to be the news. They will give it to you here in Ground News. They'll do what they can to make sure it's exactly the way you want it to be or exactly the way you don't want it to be, as you can see what's being covered, who's covering it, and how they're covering it. You can see side-by-side comparisons of headlines and of some of the facts that are being put in there as they're being presented, and who's behind these sources. Who are the people behind in their neighborhood? Well, people who pay for these sources to get these things. What's good about this? Well, if you're looking for more news that's a deeper set, you can see that one, especially if you will pay for their Vantage plan and use their blind spot feature, which allows you to see stories that are not being covered by your cohort, not being covered by your silo. And you get a better chance of seeing what's happening there. Go to our website link. This is conversationproject.com/ground news. This is conversationproject.com/ground news and join in on the fun. The Advantage plan is less than $10 a month. The basic plan is less than $1 a month. You're 40% off based off this link. Now, we have been tied to Ground News since before they've been sponsored. We used them for a while to help us do our news coverage. And when we had the option to open up and join their affiliate program, we jumped at it. We're pushing better news for all of us, including all of y'all's, to get to you directly. So check it out. It's an app for your iPhone or your Android or just the website, and use our affiliate to get that great savings. This is conversationproject.com/ground news. A little bit lengthy for this Monday morning, but it is what it is. We have two extra stories, and this one reflected that one for this morning. September the 15th, 2005, on this Monday. Glad to have you on with us. Glad to have everybody who popped into the live feed with us to keep things going. And anyone who's watching this on the replay, it's there. We'll have some clips. This one going into the shorts once we get the magic. But we'll pick the right clips, hopefully the right clips, and a couple of hot takes going on. Right now, remind you, we already have the long version of our final talk on Charlie Kirk, how we're wrapping up our Charlie Kirk coverage, although we're not wrapping up the actual events and the trial that happened for his accused shooter. And we also have already cut thing about Brian Kilmeade and his comments about lethal injections for homeless people. You know the video's not there. Deal with it. In the meantime, we're going to gather news across the way. Go to our feeds on Facebook and X all day long. Every 50 minutes or so, we post news articles for you to engage in. Let's pick the stories that are the more engaging to talk about here. And, of course, breaking news, big things will pop in. In the meantime, we do what we can to be stewards of the news, good stewards of people, and make sure that you have conversational things to talk about. Hopefully, we hit our mission today. Love you. Mean it. We oughty. Let's try to get you